Thank you. Redsea Cultural Foundation, we started as a publishers several years back. For the last 8 years, our biggest event is, of course, Hargeysa International Book Fair. But also, since last 2 years, we have a cultural center in Hargeysa. We're very glad to establish the first cultural center in Somaliland. As you may know, Somaliland is not recognized, although it's accepted by many countries, and there's some diplomatic relationships. And for us, it was really important to have a place for young people to present their work, a place where society can come together, but also major work of ours is also providing books. So there's a library, there's a gallery that young people can showcase their work. And unfortunately, it's still the only cultural center in Somaliland. There's still no national theater and other cultural institution. Hopefully, by end of this year or next year, there will be establishment of Somaliland National Library, and we can't wait to have at least one more major institution in Somaliland. The cultural center is, of course, very important for the youth in Somaliland. The main reason being, imagine a country that have been destroyed fully, where all its institutions are destroyed, including the cultural sector, but where also, because of all the other basic needs of people, you are competing with water. So culture is not very important and the first priority for our government, for civil society, because people are struggling with the basics, and people are struggling. But as many people would understand, what are we without the culture? Huh? What are we without a space if we can come together as society and discuss our own issue? So it's vital that people like us stick with culture or do exclusively culture, because most people don't think it's important. But we need water, but also we need a culture, and it's also important. We have also research department. It's also a place where people can come to who want to do research on particular issues, on either whether culture or otherwise the Somaliland history. So this partnership with Prince Claus have been really important to us, because one, we have a chance to learn from friends around the globe. I don't think I would have met so many people from Latin America, from Brazil, from here now we are in Vietnam, Syria, Ghana, even within Africa. Although we are an African country, the people are so disconnected. They're not connected with each other. So it's great to meet people who are doing the similar things, but also doing things differently, so that you can learn from each other. I think even us, the Hargeysa International Book Fair, have really pleasantly surprised us. Although, for example, our neighboring countries such as Kenya are stable and recognized countries, but the Hargeysa International Book Fair became one of the most significant East African festival and African gathering, and the biggest festivity in Somali region altogether. So we're very proud. Next year we're going to celebrate 10 years of Hargeysa International Book Fair, and we're very excited. The count of the Vietnamese people is just unheard of. So that people are the way people share here, the way people share the street with so many motors and cars and people on the street, and still tolerating each other. That was really remarkable. I can't imagine this happening in Somaliland. Absolutely not. So that was differences, a pleasant surprise. People eat also a lot of vegetables, huh? What we don't eat in Somaliland. We are meat eaters, huh? So that was also, it was very healthy to be here and eat so much vegetables, 5 days. But more in the serious note, we had a workshop on publishing, and a lot of the complaint of the independent publishers here in Vietnam was the censorship of the state. Where the place we are coming from, there's no institutional censorship, but society negotiating each other, where the limits are of free expression, where the limits are of, tolerant, and it's totally the opposite. So while we're thinking in Somaliland we can use a bit more of a state, being on top of it, so that there are more guidelines on issues. Here people are wishing to have less of a state. So places from like Somaliland where you have a not total absence of state, but where, because we experienced a dictatorship, like in Vietnam, and or at least big censorship with the dictator in Somalia. And people are very suspicious about government involvement or government censorship. So even the Somaliland media bill or publishing law could not go through in the parliament, because the society is so sensitive about it. So from there, where there's actually no laws or regulation or rules of regulation around this topic, and we're hoping and we're waiting for the government to take steps, and Vietnam that hopes, to have a bit less. Publishing is very important, and a lot of things are luxury. People think everyone have access to internet. People think a lot. So sometimes it's luxury. Sometimes people even say, "Oh, why you need a library nowadays because everything on digital." But library is also a place to come and place for society to meet, but also books. You spend more time. You think about things, but also in general also. Books take you to places that you have never visited. So it's still the number one medium that really links seriously with other people and with your own community.